Okay, I'm going to start from release and work backward, okay? And this is why. If we zoom in here, okay, this is very obvious when I see you throw the ball, and I don't know if people have talked to you about this. Your hand is on the outside part of the ball.
Okay.
Do you know that you do this?
No, I did not know.
Okay, so you are actually, you're throwing like cutters, almost like a slider.
Okay.
Okay? Has anybody ever told you that?
No.
Okay, so I don't remember you doing this, so this could be something that you've just been doing lately, okay? But that's happening, okay? So in my opinion, and how I coach, is that this is a reaction, okay? So just saying, hey, don't do this, stay behind the baseball, I don't think is a very good coaching cue, okay? So I'm going to look at what happens before that. So I'm going to take you to where your foot completely comes down, okay? So this is foot contact, but I want to look at when your foot actually comes flat to the ground and plants. Okay, and if I was going to be really nitpicky, I'd be looking at when your left knee stops moving, which is right there. Okay, so if I look at that and I come out here, you notice when your leg actually freezes and plants and stabilizes, right? When it's actually firmed up, you're almost done throwing the baseball. Okay, so let's go back to plant, okay, right when that foot comes down, and you're still very open by the time that your foot comes down. Okay, so what we want to understand is we should be feeling this with our upper half. Our upper half should be going from here to here at the same time that we see our lower half going from foot down to stabilization. So if you look at any good thrower, there's going to be contact and then stabilization. But the difference between them is that it happens within 1 to 2 frames. So I'm recording at 240 frames per second, okay? So that's very quickly, right? If I'm looking at 1 to 2 frames of stabilization, maybe it's 3 or 4. But your point is it happens very fast. If I look at you when you come in contact with the ground, okay, until the time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You get the point. There's a ton of frames between the time you actually stabilize your front leg compared to when you actually come in contact with the ground. Okay? So, just know this. The takeaway from that is your upper half is very early in relation to when your legs are actually ready to throw the baseball. Okay? So, what is happening, and this is where I'm going to get really geeky, okay? And then I'll dumb it down for you after I'm done with the video, but I want you to know the technical things going on, okay? Right now, your arm is straight up and down, right? You see that. So this is good. We want these patterns to happen. So this is less about what you're doing with your upper half and more about when it happens, okay? And it might not even be an upper half thing at all, okay? But so I'm actually going to focus on what your legs are doing, okay? But I want you to see what's actually going on, okay? So our arm lays back. It whips back, okay? And then it starts snapping forward. So when it fully lays back right now, this is called external rotation. Okay, when and this is in our shoulder. Okay, when our arm snaps forward, that's called internal rotation. Okay, you're going to notice when your arm lays back into external rotation, your hand is facing the ceiling. Okay, so your hand, this is called supination. I don't expect you to remember these, but these have names. So your hand is supinated when your arm lays back into external rotation. When your arm snaps forward into internal rotation, your hand will then follow into pronation. So after we see you release the ball, you're going to watch your thumb turn down to the ground. Okay? So that's what's going on. That process has to happen. Okay? So imagine this. If your thumb was pointing more down and the ball was still in your hand, would you still be on the outside part of the baseball?
No.
No, you wouldn't. So I'm just realizing that these things are happening and the ball just comes out. So your hand is still supinated. It hasn't gotten close enough to pronation for your hand to roll over to get behind the baseball. So me telling you, hey, you're on the outside part of the baseball, don't do that, is only describing the reaction. Okay? So let's back up here. Okay? These are the things that I see, and we'll talk about these more extensively. Okay? I should see, when I see you at the top of your leg kick, I'm just going to focus on this video on the right here, okay? I should see your head stay on this line. Look at how much it comes to the inside. So that means your weight is going there too. When your weight goes there, okay, your heel pops off the ground. imagine lifting weight, okay? Imagine squatting with 100 pounds on your shoulders, okay, and having doing that on your toes. You would never do that because you're not powerful like that. So good throwers, as they move down the mound, they find a way to keep that heel in the ground. So you're gonna feel, and I'll tell you this, it's gonna feel like you're going that way when you do this properly, and you'll actually be going that way. Because right now I would assume you're feeling like you're going straight forward,
Yes.
and you're actually going that way. Okay? Last thing. Okay? I'm going to the left here. Okay? With our legs. Okay? You actually do a pretty good job of this. Okay? I just want you to be aware of this. Okay? We don't want that left leg to come out from under us until our body travels down the mound. Okay? So I'm just going to do this for a point of reference right now. Okay? We're not going to work on this. I just want you to know this. Okay? So the angle from your ankle to your shin is through your front hip. That's a very good thing. Okay? So this means, and as far as what your upper half is doing right now, you're doing a lot of really good things. The fact that your left leg extends, and I'm looking at this, really helps you do what I just described on the left, and that your right leg angles by the time your front leg comes out from under you. That's a very good thing. So getting us to move this way, okay, or feel like you're moving that way, will actually make a lot of what's happening with our upper half happen better.